Hey there. So, for my first ever YouTube review, I'm going to open up a brand new bottle of Jack and Honey, which is fresh out the freezer. And if you're curious why, well, the simple answer is I'm what most people would call a functioning alcoholic. Working 9 to 5. So, what am I here reviewing? Well, there's a little film. One second, because god damn, that's beautiful. There's a little film that came out back in the 80s, actually 1987. It's a film called Predator, and it stars, well, the man, the myth, and the legend, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Also, I'm going to grab some Sprite Zero because, damn, who doesn't need a chaser since, I don't want to get too goddamn drunk for this review.
Too drunk!
Now, the question is going to be that, well, is Predator a good film? I mean, I'm recording this in June of 2022, and Predator is almost 40 years old, so has it stood the test of time? Is it worth watching again nowadays? Is it relevant? Or is it some, shitty 80s action film that nobody cares about? I don't know, but let's sit down and find out. So, all I can say is, grab a drink, get some popcorn, smoke them if you got them. I'm going to try to do my best to, make you guys laugh, get a point across, and just, I guess, give you my opinions on how I feel. I'm also going to try to talk slower because I naturally talk very fast, and anybody who knows me knows this is very hard, me talking at this speed, like a normal human. So, that's about it. And, guys, just grab your stuff, let's everybody head to the jungle, and once we get there, we're about to get a visitor. What is this visitor?
A fucking alien.
So, the film starts off with a wide shot of space. We see this mysterious alien ship heading towards our planet, and it's dropping off a pod into our atmosphere. The first question we're asking ourselves is,
what is it?
Oh, we're about to find out. Next, we get to meet our leader, Dutch, and his team of the boys.
Fucking adorable.
Now, Dutch and his team have been called in for this special assignment, but he's curious. He's talking to the general, and he's like, well, why call me and these guys in for when you could just, use the regular army? But luckily enough, in the background, we get to hear the voice of his old buddy, Dylan, who's apparently a son of a bitch, but luckily for us, as a viewer, he's played by another legend, Apollo Creed.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan is the one that put the request in for these guys because, well, apparently some damn fool accused him of being the best. What follows next is easily the most manliest handshake in the fucking history of cinema.
You son of a bitch. America.
I saw this movie when I was 7 years old on VHS. Why? Because I'm that goddamn old, and it has so much manliness and testosterone that I run to the bathroom, check my face, and holy shit, I just hit puberty. Only problem is, I checked other parts of me, and not all of me did.
So smooth.
Now we're in the chopper, and we have these guys gearing up, putting on camouflage, listening to loud 80s rock music. We get a character that's Hawkins. He's the Joker of the group, and let's be honest, every group needs a Joker, because we have to have a guy, break up the tension and stuff.
Private Joker, why did you join my beloved corps?
Sir, to kill, sir!
So you're a killer?
Sir, yes, sir!
So he's out there saying offensive jokes that probably, and not probably, honestly wouldn't be said nowadays, because back then in the 80s, you could actually be fucking funny without some asshole on Twitter with blue hair and 5 chins talking about, I'm offended.
What, you're offended?
For me, though, the best part of this entire sequence is we get to meet our very first sexual Tyrannosaurus.
This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
After they land, they find the down chopper. Pancho and Dylan go inside of it to try to figure out what the hell's going on. So Pancho comes out and he's talking to Dutch. Something's fishy because they were told this was a army taxi, but what they found seemed very more high-tech than some simple army taxi. Now Dutch is confused, looks over at his old buddy Dylan, like, Dylan, do you know anything about this? And Dylan has a response.
I have no idea!
Billy is their tracker. He comes back and he's talking to Dutch that, well, more things are strange because they're tracking these team of gorillas, but the team of gorillas is being tracked by 6 other guys. These 6 other guys have U.S. Army boots, which doesn't make any sense because they shouldn't be there. So yet again, Dutch talks to his old buddy Dylan. Dylan, do you know anything about this? Dylan's got a response.
I plead the fifth.
Poor Billy. He's out there in the jungle having a drink, as you do. So he accidentally stumbles upon the 6 bodies of the military guys they were looking for. But the thing is, they've been hung upside down and they've been fucking skinned alive. And truthfully, it's goddamn brutal. After they cut the bodies down, they're searching and Dutch finds a dog tag. It has a name of Jim Hopper on it. Dutch says that Jim Hopper is a Green Beret. Now, I'm not a military man by any means, but I do know the fact that Green Berets are goddamn badasses. So confused, Dutch looks at his old buddy Dylan and is like, Dylan, do you know anything about this? Why these guys would be here for? Well, Dylan has a response.
Oh no.
So we get to the village, and these boys are not here to fuck around. They're here for two things: to chew ass and kick bubblegum.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
This sequence is just pure 80s badassery. We have miniguns and explosions and just grenade launchers. Dutch walking up to the back of a pickup truck and picking it up and then dropping it because he's a fucking boss. Why not? But, you know, last but certainly not least, we have classic 80s Arnold one-liners.
Stick around.
Boy, do I miss the fucking 80s, because if you actually go back and watch the sequence, you'll notice that these guys, they're so badass and they're so efficient that nobody actually has to fucking reload. After the battle, Dutch is now even more angry because talking to Mac, there's so much evidence showing the fact that Dylan has been lying his ass off. So Dutch confronts Dylan, they have some words, but I do like, you know, during the conversation, the name Jim Hopper gets brought up, and Dylan says, well, after Jim Hopper disappeared, and Dutch has a good response.
Hopper's orders were to go in and get my men, and he disappeared. He didn't disappear. He was skinned alive.
So before they leave, they have to get, they have to get Anna, which is the last member of the cast. The kind of comical but also strange part is, during this entire battle sequence, they were killing all the rebels, but Dutch, you know, easily knocks out with the butt of his gun, you know, the only female in the group. So, well, it's the 80s, it's a jungle, and just, things can happen. I won't lie, as a kid, this next scene coming up scared the hell out of me, because so far these guys are being watched by something. We're still not sure what it is, but all we see is just, you know, little tidbits of thermal imaging, but, you know, well, whatever it is, it's watching Hawkins talking to Billy, and he's still trying to get a laugh out of this guy. He finally says a joke, Billy gets the joke, and Billy just busts out laughing. Now, the creepy part is, we're still not sure that, does this thing understand laughter, or is it just mimicking sound? But just, you know, hearing Billy's voice and just distorted like that, and coming back all, like, high-pitched and just up and down, I don't know, even today, it's creepy as fuck. This next scene is pretty powerful because the entire team has to stop. Billy is just looking up into the trees, and everybody has it, you know. There's this feeling of, there's something watching me. I can't see it, I can't smell it, I can't hear it, but somehow I know it's there. So even Dutch is like, well, what the hell has Billy so spooked? And just, you know, the look of confusion, but also kind of fear in his face just says it all.
There's something in those trees.
As everyone is distracted, Anna grabs a log. She whacks Poncho in the face with it, then heads off running. So Hawkins is chasing her down, and we get to hear this like purring, kind of like growling noise, but the look on Anna's face says it all. It's just pure fucking fear. And just, as a viewer, for the first time, we get to see whatever it is, but not really, because it's kind of hard to describe. It's like, you know, the jungle coming alive and like light bending, but it shows up and it just one-shots Hawkins, then grabs his body and gets up out of there. Next, Dutch and the team, they catch up with Anna, but now they're like, well, Anna is covered in blood, but it's not hers. So say what you want about Arnold, it's just the look that he gives of like kind of confusion, but also kind of scared, but also like surprised, because he asked Poncho and everybody else to go find Hawkins' body. They come back and he's like, Poncho, did you find his body? And he's like, I can't tell.
Did you find Hawkins?
I can't tell.
Very quickly, Dutch and Dylan figure out that, just like Jim Hopper's team, well, the body was taken, but for some reason, all the gear was left behind. So now Dutch wants Hawkins' body found. He tells the entire team to spread out and go find it. And poor Big Blaine, well, he's the first one to get it, and just, goddamn, do I love 80s practical effects, because it's just brutal and gory and looks awesome. Mac shows up, and his best friend has just been killed. All he sees is a pair of glowing eyes. And given the circumstances, I think he does what any rational man should do. He grabs a gun, starts fucking screaming, and then starts shooting at the son of a bitch. So it takes off running. He does nick it in its leg, presumably, and just you see some blood onto a nearby leaf. Then the rest of the team shows up. Mac, he grabs Blaine's minigun and just, we have this legendary scene be born that I could watch on fucking repeat. After that entire sequence, Pancho checks the area. He comes back and tells them we hit nothing. So now they're even more confused. There's not much they can do at this point besides wait it out for the night and set some booby traps. I like this scene coming up because Pancho has a good exchange with Billy, and Billy just, is scared, has this look of concern on his face. Pancho is like, Billy, what's up with you? You know something. And he goes, I'm afraid. And Pancho was like, bullshit, you ain't afraid to know, man.
There's something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man.
So Mac has first watch. He's out there staring up at the moonlight, reminiscing with his old buddy Blaine, and just plotting his revenge on whatever the hell it is that killed his best friend. Out of nowhere, a flare goes off. So Mac takes off running. We don't get to see what it is because, well, it's dark out. So Mac then catches up with it, tackles it to the ground, grabs a knife, and is stabbing the son of a bitch. And just, there's slow motion and there's blood. And hey, look, he got it. But what scares me is this scene as an adult gives me PTSD because I won't lie to you guys. Just the sounds coming off this animal, Jesus Christ. It reminds me of the last time I had a girl in my bedroom.
Where are you? Fuck with the back! Mac!
During the commotion, Dutch then realizes the fact that, oh shit, nobody's watching Anna. So they run back and expect her to be missing. The thing is, she's still there and she's fucking terrified. Because let's be honest, whatever's out there is more scarier to her than you guys are. So Billy then tells Dutch that, well, during the commotion, somebody or something took Blaine's body. They can't figure out how because they had all these traps set out there. So during the morning, Dutch is like, you know what? This thing, it's using the trees.
He's using the trees.
So he talks to Anna, no more games, no more bullshit. Out of nowhere, because it's Arnold, and she's terrified, she can now speak English. So she talks to him about whatever this thing is, it's just camouflage, and she can't really describe what it is. So smartly, he takes her binds and he cuts them because this thing, it's not playing games or discriminating, it's killing everybody. So she tells him the fact that as it was running away, well, one of them hit it, and she saw some blood. Yet again, we get another classic 80s Arnold one-liner.
Its blood was on the leaves.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
We see these guys being manly men and setting up new traps because Dutch is like, well, this thing can see our tripwires, maybe it can't see this. So Anna gives us a small backstory, which is interesting, but for me, my favorite part is Mac because the man is such a fucking badass where who shaves without shaving cream? The team is there waiting and the trap is not going off. So then Dutch is like, well, I guess I'll be bait. He walks out there very slowly and right behind him, the trap goes off. Guess what? They got the fucker. But what they didn't expect was this thing starts shooting blindly. It friggin' hits a log, it swings down and whacks Pancho right in the chest. How he's not dead, I have no idea. But now Mac, on his quest for revenge, starts chasing the thing down. Everyone is like, we have to get back to the chopper and Pancho out of here. So now Dylan, on his maybe redemption arc, is like, well, Dutch, I'm going to join Mac and help kill this thing. So unfortunately, they don't. Poor Mac gets one-shotted in the friggin' head, and Dylan, goddamn, the man gets an arm blown off, and just the way he gets fucking impaled, the screaming, even to this day, this shit's brutal to watch. Billy has to have his last stand. There's different ways to interpret this scene. Some could say that maybe he's buying these guys some time. I always took it as, well, Billy is like, fuck it. I know I'm not going to win. I can't escape this. And if I'm going to face my death, I might as well do it on my own terms. So there's always been within me something more terrifying of not actually seeing him be killed. It's just the way he screams, that alone is fucking scary. So all that's left is Anna, Pancho, and Dutch. Pancho unfortunately takes one shot to the head and he's gone. Anna picks up his gun, but then Dutch very quickly kicks it out of her hand and does his best to shoot at the bastard. He doesn't do much neither because then he takes a shot to the shoulder. So there's not much that can be done. Anna has to run, and well, lucky for us, another legendary scene is born.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Well, Dutch is down. He just took a shot to the shoulder by an alien weapon and somehow gets up and starts fucking sprinting. So, what a badass. And then falls down a cliff into a waterfall, hits some water, then swims to shore. For the first time in this entire film, we get to see the full shot of the creature because apparently the water was fucking with this camouflage. So now Dutch is sitting there, he's braced against some trees, he's about to die. But for some reason, he doesn't. The thing walks right past him, and everyone's confused like, okay, why didn't it kill him for? The first thing Dutch realizes that, well, it couldn't see me.
Well, well, well.
So now Dutch, only with a knife and a few small explosives, well, he has to use the one muscle that matters the most, his mind.
Still using all the muscles except the one that matters.
Well, we're now into the third act, and it's funny that I'm a third of this done, so let's finish this. Now for the first time, Dutch is on the offensive because, well...
Ironic, isn't it? The hunter has become the hunted!
Dutch is doing a pretty good job considering, and he's taking the beast down. He's hurting him, making him bleed, and has the upper hand for a little bit. But unfortunately, the camouflage starts to wear off, and this time, you're not getting away, pal. He jumps into the water, and unlike last time, the second he surfaces, the Predator's fucking waiting for him. I like this because, as big as Dutch is, the Predator with one hand easily yokes him up against a fucking tree. It depends how you look at this scene. I always took it as he's looking at him like, well, you know, I've been killing you guys left and right, and something about you is different. And, well, it comes down to a level of respect. So, for the first time in this entire movie, we get to see the face of the beast. And, God damn, my reaction?
Holy shit.
Yet again, after this, we get to have another classic Arnold one-liner.
You one ugly motherfucker.
So now we have Dutch versus the Predator. One-on-one, man versus beast. And as big as Dutch is, he's getting his ass kicked. He's fighting an opponent that just outclasses him. It's bigger and it's stronger. So he has no chance of winning this fight. Watching this is like, you know, watching any female in modern sports.
Luck is for dudes!
Dutch is out of options. He has to crawl away and hopefully trick the Predator. I like this scene because just the look the Predator gives him, like, I'm not falling for this shit, asshole, I got you. But little does he know, Dutch is like, no, I got you.
Fool you!
After having a massive log dropped on its head, he finally kills it. But oh wait, it's still alive. So at this point, I think like any of us that's tired, exhausted, and just no fucks given, he grabs a rock and he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna beat the fucker to death. He puts the rock down though because the thing is dying, it's lying there, it's pathetic, it's puking up green blood. Honestly, it looks just like me every time I fucking eat vegan food. So, that's it. Dutch wins, game over, man. As an ending sequence, I love this so much because just the simplicity of Dutch looking down on this creature and asking a very simple question of, what the hell are you? So, one last time, I'm unsure that, well, does this thing understand our language or is it just mimicking sound? Because then it fires back the exact same question. So, personally, well, I always took it as he's looking up at Dutch like, God damn, I've been killing people left and right, using you guys as trophies, and just, I can't beat you, so what the hell are you? But before he goes, one last fuck you. The Predator takes his arm, reaches over to his other arm, and starts typing in some kind of sequence in this like wrist device that he has. So, sits back and just starts using Billy's laugh one last time, and again, it's creepy as fuck. Dutch, not being a moron, looks down like, what the hell's going on, and wait a second, that electronic device on his arm, the sequence is getting smaller and smaller and smaller oh shit, it's a fucking bomb. So he runs out of there as fast as possible, and because, he's a badass, just survives a big kind of like mini nuclear blast, Then Anna with the chopper shows up, they pick up Dutch, and that's it. He won, survived the day, and he's heading home. So that's pretty much it, and I hope you love this review because I had a ton of fun making it and laughing and, well, getting pretty fucking drunk in the process. So I want to end this with going back to the original question of, is Predator a good film? Is it worth watching again in 2022? So my answer is very simple.
Jeez, this movie sucks.
In case you couldn't tell by my glowing sarcasm, I fucking love this movie. It's probably easily in my top 3 of all time. So I'm not sure, being new to this, what kind of rating system I would use. 10 out of 10, but I'm gonna start simple with saying I think this film is a goddamn cinema classic.
I'm so happy.
So what makes this a cinema classic? Number one off the bat is the dialogue. How many movies have you watched where there's so much excess dialogue, there's so much over explanation, there's just, these scenes that drag the fuck on. With Predator, I never felt like that. From start to finish, every piece of dialogue has a purpose. I don't feel like the film has a single throwaway line. And these characters don't need over explanation because they have a history and that's all you need to know. And just a little bit of backstory is perfect because it could be a small scene with, say, Pancho and, Dutch of like, hey, remember that one time in Afghanistan? Trying to forget. Or just like, Blaine and Mac. These guys are best friends and just, hey bro, remember that one time in Cambodia? Trying to forget. Or just like, when Blaine first dies, Mac, I love the music and the tone and just the performance on Bill Duke's face of looking down, his best friend is dead, the music is swelling, and you don't need nothing else but just, goodbye bro. That's it. 2 fucking words. So even with Anna and the Predator, there's not endless backstory and over explanation. She gives a 1-minute scene and that's it. Just telling a story of when she was younger. So
We found them sometimes without their skin, and sometimes much, much worse.
this is just a perfect example of a tight script and dialogue that makes sense, and goddamn, I wish we had more of that. Number 2 is how smart the script is, because let's be honest, this could have been a stupid 80s action film. It could have been a stupid 80s monster movie. It's anything but. Since we have Dutch, he's the leader for a reason. He's smart, resourceful, and he's willing to adapt to a situation that he can't understand. The rest of the team, such as Dylan, which you can't blame them, they're out in the jungle and they're military guys. They think that there's a team of guys chasing them. Dutch is pretty quick, to side with Billy and figure out that, well, not he, not they, but it is chasing us. It is hunting us down. And even small lines like, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Also, when you first see the Predator, as a kid, I'm like, why the hell is he alive for? How fast is he like, oh shit, it didn't kill me because it couldn't see me. Even a small throwaway scene of like, Anna, well, it didn't kill you because you were unarmed. There's no sport in that. So for a movie being what it is, it's surprisingly smart, and I love that. Number 3 is the Predator itself. It follows the same formula as Jaws of less is more, because it may be a trope or cliche of horror films that, whatever's out there, CGI or even excellent makeup job, that whatever you see on screen, it's never as terrifying as whatever you're expecting inside your mind. And even goddamn, the first 2.5 acts of the film, we have no clue of what this thing is. I mean, you get a hand here and there, or maybe even when it injures its leg, just kind of a humanoid leg, but you're still unsure, what does this thing look like? Even when it first, lands into the water and Dutch sees it, we do see a humanoid figure, but it's still wearing the armor and the mask and the tendrils. Not until the last 6 minutes of the film do we see it. And it's awesome, it's great makeup, but still, they don't use a lot of it, and it's perfect for what it is. So again, another example of less is more. So number 4, and hold up, right here, number 4, is the 3-act structure. I have to say this because in my lifetime, I really can't think of any other film that does this.
One of a kind.
Predator is clocking in at 1 hour and 47 minutes, and it feels like double that.
Too long.
But not in a bad way, because how many films, again, have you watched that fucking drag on? Predator doesn't do this. It just flies right by. And it's the only time where it's like, it feels like 3 mini movies all tailed into one. How do you figure? Well, look at Act 1, for example. Act 1, for all accounts, is a really good 80s action film.
Action.
With, a little bit of espionage and intrigue. Then Act 2 changes into like, well, kind of like survival horror, but also a monster film.
Sounds like a damn monster movie.
Then Act 3 is still survival horror, but now the tables have been turned, and now Dutch, well, the hunter, becomes the hunted.
Oh, the tables have turned.
So pretty much that's it, and I just can't think of any other film that mimics that act structure just the way Predator does. Sorry, but I gotta do number 5, and I didn't want to, but you know what? It's 2022, and I gotta say this. Since Predator came out back in the 80s, and back then they had a very good, diverse cast. The funny part is, it wasn't constantly crammed down our fucking throats. It wasn't part of the marketing. Guess what? These characters, these actors, just existed. If you watch it again, nobody, and I mean nobody, ever mentions color or race or religion or sexuality because, they're kind of busy trying to survive a fucking alien trying to kill them. So, and even take like a character that's Mac and Blaine, 2 characters that are best friends. Mac wants to go on just this tale of revenge because his best friend has been killed. And gee, boys and girls, remember there was a time that a black dude and a white dude could actually fucking be best friends. I know it doesn't happen nowadays, but once upon a time, it was possible.
It's not true. That's impossible.
Okay, that's it. I promise we're done. And goddamn, I finished off half a bottle and I had a great time doing this, and I'm drunk enough where I'm trying not to slur too many words, okay? So I hope you liked the review, and I'm so glad Predator was made. This movie is fucking fantastic. I could watch it at any time. It's so rewatchable, and just, I wish more movies were made like this. And thank God, we never got any shitty sequels. Well, to be fair, I did like Predator 2. And thank God only Predator 2 was made, and never any prequels were in the works of being made, so...
No, God!
Anyway, that's all I got. That's all I can think about. And, well, I'm going to finish this, take a quick nap in. I'm heading back to work.